On va commencer avec une question par journaliste. We'll answer one question per quarter, and if time allows us, we'll take all the questions. How are you?
Great, how are you?
Good, thanks. How's life?
It's going well.
Yeah.
2 questions.
Did I? Just wanted to know how you're going.
Things are good. Just spending a lot of time at home with the kids, and just enjoying my favorite time of year, the fall.
Partridge hunting.
Yeah, I've been out afield quite a bit, and like I said, just enjoying time with my kids.
I don't know, Carey, if you can answer to that, but fans want to know if we gonna see you play again for this team.
Well, we'll have to, to kind of really just take it step by step. I don't have like a plan to retire right at this moment. I'm just trying to, right now, my goal is to just be pain-free from day to day. I'm still having some issues getting up and down stairs, and carrying my kids up and down stairs is difficult. So my first priority is just to get my body in a place to where I'm pain-free in my day-to-day living, and go from there.
Hi, Carey. Just curious to know on the game night opener against Toronto, what was going through your head to hear the crowd and you came to the ice to put your hat on and
Just like an overwhelming sense of gratitude is the best way to describe that. Just heartwarming.
How tough is it to accept the situation? Because when you were healthy, you were able to play stage. Now it's not because you want to retire. You're home, you cannot play. How tough is it?
It's frustrating, no question. It's like you go from being in the Stanley Cup final to be sitting here today, and it's a pretty short amount of time, but it's not a position I envisioned myself being in, and not too long ago. So it's been a emotional roller coaster for myself, and but at the end of the day, I've had my family there. My kids, my wife have been very supportive, and my family at home, and every fan that I've had an interaction with over the last year and a half has been just overwhelmingly positive. So I'm really thankful for that.
Gary Tangles and Stu Kelly.
Hey, Gary. Can you give us as detailed of an answer as possible in terms of what you had to go through on a daily basis during the playoff run to play those games?
It's mentally challenging. Like, playoffs are a grind for anybody, and playing hurts, even more so. And, once you kind of get into the game, it's like, everybody's playing hurt, some way or another. Morning skates were tough. You're not as amped up to practice in the morning, but it's definitely trying. But everybody's especially by the time you get to the final, is playing with something. So I was just trying to stay focused on the goal, and get myself mentally prepared every day. And it's just so such a goal orientated time that you're just focused on this one goal. You're willing to put anything else aside, and that's fine. But it takes a toll on you. It's a physical game, but that's why we play it. It's part of the journey.
You just meant about the physical preparation and what you had to do to get on the ice and be able to perform with the ability that you did.
Yeah, it was basically bite a stick and suck it up and get out there. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Stu?
Carey, your oldest daughter, I imagine, is old enough to understand who her dad is as a goalie for the Canadians, or what he means to the city. I'm just wondering, from her perspective, how much do you think she's missing her dad being goalie, and how much she's enjoying having her dad at home all day?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been such a blessing just to be at home, you know, kind of getting into a routine, being at the house and being a presence in their, a consistent presence in their life, especially like now, you know, where I'd be gone, you know, half the week a lot of the time. So she's definitely at an age where she understands that, you know, daddy's a hockey player. He's a goalie, and it's kind of funny sometimes. You know, the other night we're at the Owls game, and she's my little personal assistant handing me little footballs to sign with from fans. So I think they definitely miss. I think especially Liv, like watching Dad in warm ups. Like that was kind of getting to be kind of a ritualistic thing that we would do together, and I think she's gonna miss that for sure.
Deux fois, Simon Olivier et Alex Bélanger.
Carey, I think you saw different doctors. Am I wrong?
I did, yeah.
Them.
You know, we had our doctors here. Obviously, my doctor in New York. I went for a second opinion in Pittsburgh at the end of the season. That's where I had my, you know, my end of the year kind of second opinion. You know, on what my future held and what, you know, kind of a plan would be going forward. And that's when that surgery was suggested. And you know, I was not particularly, you know, fond of such an intrusive, you know, surgery. It's, you know, in my opinion, is a little risky for my, you know, quality of life after, and it worries me a little bit.
New surgery?
To have another surgery, you know, it's kind of something that I would consider if, you know, my quality of life is not at a place where I feel is acceptable, and I'm really struggling on my day-to-day living. That's something that maybe I would consider. And
So you saw 3 different doctors. Did they have the same opinion?
more or less, yeah.
On the same subject, you said earlier that you were taking it step by step, but knowing that surgery is not something you're looking for right now, given your situation, what's the next step? Are you waiting for the knee to heal by itself, or are you waiting for another opinion? What are you looking for?
Yeah, well, like just continuing my rehab, it hasn't been successful, you know, thus far. That's been the real frustrating part. But you know, I've talked to several people, and you know, my injury tends to, you know, I've had several people talk to me who have had this type of injury, and it's taken you know, over a year for them to start feeling normal. So I'm still holding out hope. I might go, you know, there's a possibility of maybe another injection, but you know, we'll have to see. It's like I just have to continue trying to solve a problem. But like I said, you know, that surgery is a little bit worrisome for me.
Alexis, Marc-Armand et Raphaël Lucien.
Terry, looking forward to the rest of the season. We spoke with Kent Hughes a couple of weeks ago and was saying it's up to you if you want to stay close with the team or not, depending on how you feel. What do you see? What's your position about this? Are you hanging around a little bit with the boys?
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of guys on this team that I've played with. You know, it's any injured guy will tell you that it's kind of a weird position to be in. You know, you feel like you're a part of the team, but you don't really feel like you're a part of the team. You know, you're kind of in a gray area, especially when you're, you know, projected to be out an extended period of time. I don't want to be in there every day and, you know, be using up resources, you know, like on the day, like these guys come in here and they work hard every day, you know, they see trainers every day, and I don't want to impede their, you know, their progress. You know, like I'm not going to be a part of that process here this season. So, you know, I just don't want to, I feel like I'm in the way. You know, I'll be around, you know, like I miss being with the guys. Like any player who's not playing will tell you, you know, it's really something they miss the most of is joking around with the guys. So, you know, I still have, you know, some really close friends on this team. There's a lot of guys on this team that I haven't played with also. So I'm just trying to respect their space and their resources and their time. And, you know, I'll definitely be hanging around. Like, you know, I enjoy being with these guys and being able to talk with the fellas that I played with before and getting to know some of the new players. So.
A lot of people go back to Chris Kreider, that incident there, and think that this is where your woes with your knees started. But you had obviously your heart season right after. But have you been able to identify or be told what was like the origin or the source of those issues to your knees, and was it qualified as being degenerative?
Yeah, I think that all started from, probably about 8 years old. It's a demanding position on a body, especially in your as you get older in your mid-30s. It's just a progression. Like I've had like ankle issues, hip issue, back issue, and like the older you get, you just don't recover from that as well. And I think it's just like an accumulation of playing hard for a long time.
Hi, Jonathan.
Hi, Carey. Thanks for your time. While you rehab, did you talk to Jeff Bolson or Jeff Gordon about maybe a special role in the community or public appearances or something?
Yeah, I talked to Jen about that actually. We have a few plans for this season, so there'll definitely be something in the works for sure.
Jonathan?
Carey, you talked about the time you spent with your family earlier. You go hunting, you went to a basketball game, you went to the Alouettes game. I guess you haven't had that much free time for the last maybe 15 years. Does it make you realize that the transition or the day you will retire wouldn't be that bad?
Yeah, it's definitely been a pleasure being able to do things outside of your bubble, because when you're playing hockey, you're so like goal focused, and you don't really do much outside of maybe going to the odd dinner here and there. But you're so focused on your job during the season that you don't really get an opportunity a lot of the time to kind of get out of that. And it's been fun to be able to take the kids out to different sporting events, and me and Angela being able to go to a basketball game has been fun. And I've spent a lot of time out of the city, and gotten a real appreciation for the area outside of Broussard and downtown. It's been fun to be able to go exploring a little bit.
So you'll be able to transit pretty well when the day will come.
Yeah, I've always been a hobbyist, so 3 kids as well is no there's not a ton of time off. So
Alexandre, Nancy, et Kevin Marie.
Hey, Carey. You described earlier your injury or the surgery as being intrusive and worrisome if you decide to take that path. Can you explain a little bit? I'm sure you feel like an expert in knee injuries now. Can you explain a little bit what this is exactly, and what makes it intrusive and worrisome, and what are the chances if you ever decide to take it, to go there, that actually works?
yeah, the surgery is called OATS. Arpan could probably give you the insight on what it's all about now. And it's basically they're taking a plug of cartilage and bone from a low wear area in your knee and placing it in the cartilage damaged area. It's pretty serious, and the success rate is above 50%, and from a pessimistic perspective, it's like, well, there's 50% chance that it could not work, or 30% chance or whatever, but it's something, unless I was in dire need of it to get through my life, is something that maybe I would consider at that point. But right now I'm looking at my young kids and being able to play with them on a day-to-day is the most important thing for me.
Good morning, Carey. Lindsay Richardson with APTN. I'm just wondering, in this time away from the ice, have you reflected at all on your legacy and what it means for other Indigenous folks?
Yeah, I always keep that in the back of my mind for sure. I've always tried to be a positive role model for Indigenous youth, and as far as my legacy goes, I just I haven't really thought about it much. To be honest, when you're playing hockey and you're in it, you're always just focused on the next goal, the next thing, next thing you're trying to achieve. And I haven't really again, I'm trying to achieve another thing. I'm trying to get healthy again, so I haven't really until the day I retire, I probably won't reflect on that much. I guess if there was one thing I'd want to be, recognized as, is just a hard worker and a good guy, I guess.
We'll take a few more. Kevin, and then follow up from Smoley and Eric Engels.
Hi, Carey. You talk about playing with your kids, and I understand you want to be pain-free on a day-to-day basis. So what would it take to come back? Because I guess getting back on the ice would be some risk in terms of quality of life.
Yeah, 100%. This game it's tough on the body, and like I said, my first goal is to get healthy. Once I do that, then I can start considering being able to train at a professional level. Right now, I cannot train at a professional level. So once I get to that, then I'll consider that. But until then, this is my goal, is just to get healthy.
Smoley, you said a few times that how much the game is tough for the body, especially for a goalie, and you've been doing this job for a long time now. There's been a few goaltenders in the league, like Pecorine and you, who had major surgery, sometimes surgery plural. Do you feel that there's a need for a change in the way the young goaltenders learn this job and go through the process of becoming a pro, because it feels like it gets more hard and hard and hard, and maybe there's a need for a change in maybe a technical side? What do you feel about it?
Right now, goaltenders are better than they've ever been, and they're that way because they play the way they do. And it's a competitive world out there. Everybody wants to be here, at the end of the day. And I don't think there's a kid out there that wouldn't sacrifice anything to be here. And it's part of the cost that you pay. And I've paid it. If I were to do it all over again, would I do it? I would. So, the best thing you can do is try and take care of your body as best you can, because this job is not easy and it's going to be demanding. There's no way around it. You can't sugarcoat it. But the thing you can do is just try and manage yourself as best as possible. Take care of your body, take care of your mentals, and as Marshawn Lynch said, take care of your chicken.
Carey, we'll go with Eric, Stu, Dr. A, McNamara from Germany.
Harry, I thought it was interesting before when you were talking about the playoffs, talking about the mental stress of it all. Your teammates have constantly talked about how all that you exuded was calm and casual and cool. And I'm thinking about a couple moments, one at the end of last season, the last game you played, where there was 10 seconds left on the clock and the play was still going on and you were waving at your family. And the other when you came out for this ovation at the beginning of the year, and you seem totally at peace right now, but internally, are you at peace with the possibility that you might have played your last game for the Canadians?
It's still like it's something that you digest, and I don't think I fully have done that yet, to be honest. As there's like that outside hope of a miracle happening that I could maybe come back and play at some point, but I've always been a bit of an optimist, so I'm not giving up, and definitely not giving up on winning a Stanley Cup in some aspect, whatever position that would be, so yeah, I'm just just trying to focus on all the positives of life. And right now my kids are really giving me that avenue. My wife is being very supportive, and my family. I'm a very lucky individual, and I'm trying to keep all these things in perspective.
Shoot around a while, you could come back as a winger maybe, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind sniping a few, hit a few goalies in the head maybe.
Carey, I understand you're going to do everything you can to try and come back. Obviously, the thought of life after hockey is probably in your mind a little bit too. I'm just wondering, if hockey had never worked out for Carey Price, what do you think life would have been like? What do you think you would have done?
Boy, that's a question I've pondered quite a bit, and I still don't have the answer to that one. I feel like ever since I was a kid, I was just so focused on being a hockey player. I just knew that that's what I wanted to do, and I basically put everything I had into it my whole life. And I was very fortunate to one, have the support of my family and coaches, and was very lucky to be able to take advantage of all the opportunities that I had along the way, and it worked out for me. But what would I have been? I don't know, but I would have been working with my hands, that's for sure.
Carey, do you talk with Shea Weber once in a while? Because you're going through the same process, but in this case, we all know that he's done. How does he feel, and can you take something from him, like a lesson?
Yeah, we're definitely going through a similar circumstance. You know, we kind of we both taken to the woods, so we have that in common. You know, I think he's got the same approach that I've had. He's really focusing on his family, and you know, he's you know, taking care of Beckett playing hockey, and you know, just enjoying his time at home too. You know, we've shared a lot of laughs and some serious hurt together, and you know, I have a lot of respect for Shea and his process. And it's, you know, I actually didn't really get to see him a whole lot this summer. You know, we crossed paths a few times and chatted a bit, but you know, we'll definitely have a lot more chats probably in a ground blind or at some point in our lives. So, you know, you know, I just wanted to wish him the best of luck, really.
We'll take two more. Eric Leblanc et Martin McGuire pour terminer.
Gary, a few weeks ago, I spoke to a few of your former teammates when you were starting your pro career, and they were telling me that you arrived to Hamilton with your cowboy hat on the head, and they were thinking one day we'll have to take it off, you know, to adapt to the others, to the NHL world. But how proud are you to have been able to stay honest and loyal to your values, you know, up to this day?
Yeah, I think that you know, kind of all comes down to just, you know, remembering where I came from. You know, came from a remote area in Anaheim Lake. I'm very proud of being from there, and I've never lost sight of that. You know, it's a part of me. You know, I was raised in a very loving family, and I'm just very proud of them and the type of people that I grew up with.
What's the best thing that you will keep from the whole experience here?
Boy, there's the list is too long to, I think, really point out one thing. I just can't believe how fast it's gone by. You know, it's you know, I really envious of all these young players coming into the league now. The league's better than it's ever been, and you know, they're just very lucky to be here, and I'm very envious of them. Yeah, I don't know, maybe. All right.
Thank you. Thanks, Gary.
Oh, non, c'est tout.